I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have.
If this guy underperforms, if the team is not good and they end up having to fire him after 3 seasons, okay, they'll be crying racism. He'll be saying, well, he didn't give me as much time to win as Bill Belichick because I'm black. So in my opinion, I think that this is going to end up in a train wreck, right? I think that it's going to be a train wreck. I think when you hire these type of individuals who are openly telling you, I'm looking for racism, okay, I do see skin color so that you can identify racism. He's talking about diversity and inclusion. Again, these type of hires, they cause more drama. They're more trouble than they're worth, right? And this probably is going to end in a train wreck, and the dude will be crying racism when he gets fired. I'm just saying, right? Robert Kraft, I'm not sure if you made the best decision here, right? I'm not sure if you made the best decision.
1 year later.
We got breaking news out of the NFL where the Patriots have fired head coach Jerod Mayo after just 1 season. After just 1 season.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about another prediction that was very easy to make that ended up coming true. Now, I was a little off, right? I was a little off about this prediction because I predicted when the New England Patriots hired Jerod Mayo to be their head coach after his first press conference where he was boo-hoo-wah, he grabbed about racism, what it means to be a black man, diversity and inclusion. I was like, this dude cannot be a leader of men. He can't be a leader of men. He is not going to do a good job as the head coach of the New England Patriots. Okay. And I said that I think this guy is going to get fired after 3 years.
Yeah, Jerod, congratulations.
Thank you.
Question first, Robert. Jerod said that being the first black coach was important to him. Curious, what does it mean to you? And if I could ask you, Jerod, have you reached out to any of the folks like, Tony or, Tomlin, just to get their sense of what it means to them?
You want to start off?
Yeah. Let me say this to you. I'm really colorblind in terms of, I know what I feel like on Sunday when we lose. And I can just tell you that there's nothing after my family, my passion is with the New England Patriots, and there's something else very close second, but winning at the Patriots is my passion. So I want to get the best people I can get. I chose the best head coach for this organization. He happens to be a man of color, but I chose him because I believe he's best to do the job.
Yeah, and Mike T, he reached out. He's actually from our hometown back in Virginia as well. So we haven't really talked about the challenges. I appreciate Thunder and the organization selecting me to be a black head coach. I would say what Thunder just talked about, that was in the locker room. You want your locker room to be pretty diverse, and you would want the world to look like that. What I will say, though, is I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have.
Now, I wasn't wrong about him getting fired because he just got fired today. Okay, after 1 year, I was wrong about how long it would take. I thought that they would give him 3 years because he's black, right? Even though clearly the guy was in over his skis. I mean, if you just listen to his press conferences and also watched the games as well too. This team was in shambles from day one.
Look, it's always, look, once those guys cross the white lines, there's nothing I can do for them. There's nothing any coach can do for them once they cross the white line. It's my job to continue to prepare not only them, but our coaches to go out here and play better football. Thanks.
Wow. There's nothing that a coach can do for a player once they cross the white line. Now, here's the thing. I grew up playing football all my life, okay? One of my favorite sports. Mediocre player, right? Not the best player in the world, but decent, okay? And I can tell you that just being in the locker room, being around, football coaches, been around football my whole life, and has kind of shaped my mentality on the world. That is the wrong mentality, okay? That is not the mentality of a successful coach, okay? Successful coaches take personal responsibility and accountability for the play on the field, even if you know your team sucks, right? Even if you know they suck, even if you know, okay, this guy is not good, you still take personal accountability and responsibility as a grown man, and you say, no, it's on us, right? We got to coach better. We got to be better, because ultimately at the end of the day, that is what leaders do, okay? It is what it is. It's stuff like that you pick up on, that I picked up on throughout my whole life, in which I can instantly kind of recognize good leadership, right? Who makes a good leader, who doesn't make a good leader, who can make a good CEO, who doesn't make a good CEO, who can make a good coach, who can't make a good coach, who can lead a movement, who can't lead a movement, right? I feel like I'm pretty good at evaluating these things, okay? And that's why I was very comfortable saying that it was going to be a train wreck, right? Like, I knew that it was just going to be bad, okay? And when you are one of these individuals that comes out here and talks about racism, diversity and inclusion, and all this other stuff, right? This whole victimhood, woe is me type of stuff. It's just not the mentality of a winner. Winners do not think like that. Losers think like that, okay? It's a losing mentality. So with that being said, best believe that the woke mainstream liberal media, they will be boo-hoo, whining, and crying racism. Tomorrow, for the next 3 or 4 days, right, you'll have Stephen A. Smith on Woke Take with Cam Newton and Shannon Sharp. They'll be boo-hoo, whining, and crying. Black head coaches, they don't get a chance. Their leash is so short. The white coaches, they get so many more opportunities. They're always screwing over the black man. This is what they'll say. When I would make the argument that the dude probably shouldn't have got the job in the first place. He probably got the job because he's black. Let's keep it 100. Because it's not like Jerod Mayo has a traditional coaching background where he went from, coordinator to coach or whatever. And I'm not saying he's not a good linebackers coach, but I don't think that he had the typical experience that is needed to be a good head coach in the NFL. Okay. And I'm not saying that, again, he can't be a good linebackers coach or a good defensive coordinator, but I'm just saying, as a head coach, that's like being a CEO. Okay. And I can already tell you, he wasn't going to be good at being a CEO. So, I cannot wait for the woke meltdowns. Okay, they're already starting on X, right? You got the woke revolutionaries out here saying things like, quote, black coaches be on the hot seat for 1.5 years. How the F is Jerod Mayo on the hot seat already? Man just took over last year. This some Willie Target-ish. With the firing of Jerod Mayo, NFL owners are hiring minority coaches in bad positions, like a team vying for a high draft pick, and then letting them go after just to satisfy the Rooney Rule. Then they hire a white coach when the team has a good draft. Yeah, so again, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Good coaches don't get fired, right? If you have a good season, then you're going to keep your job, right? Most of the time, regardless of your skin color or your race. In this situation, Jerod Mayo not only had a bad season, but the team was just dysfunctional. Okay, when you have a dysfunctional team, a dysfunctional locker room, that starts at the top, right? That starts at the head coach, okay? And clearly, he was not good at being a head coach. He was just terrible at that job, which is why he got fired. Now, it's one thing for people to recognize, okay, Jerod Mayo is a good head coach, but his team sucks. Everybody would agree that, okay, well, maybe you should give him a couple more years in order to turn it around. That wasn't the case, okay? And as a Panthers fan, I can tell you that, hey, it ain't just black head coaches that get fired after one season. For example, Robert Kraft, who is a white man, got fired before his first season was over, okay? After a 1-10 start, David Tepper fired the guy, okay? So it doesn't just happen to black head coaches, right? It just happens in the league. I mean, that's just what it is. So, it's just funny how these people boo-hoo whine and cry racism as if this doesn't happen to everybody else, right? It happens. It is what it is. Black head coaches have such a tiny margin of error. Mayo wasn't a great coach, but it was his first time in a role in a team that everyone expected to be bad. He doesn't get a chance to grow with more talent. BS. Jerod Mayo was set up to fail from the jump. No way he was going to last in racist-ass Boston with their racist-ass media. I don't know. The Patriots firing Jerod Mayo seems a little racist to me. Yeah, so, again, you already have people boo-hoo, whine, and cry racism, okay? I fully expect for the woke sports media to be boo-hoo, whine, and cry racism. And talking about, whoa, black men, black coaches, they never get a fair shot. They never get a fair shake. They're always being screwed over. You see how this works, right? If you don't hire a black head coach, what they say is that, well, that's racism. Okay, you don't give black coaches a chance. And then when you do hire a black coach and he sucks, then they say, oh, well, that's racism because you fired a black head coach before giving him a chance, right? So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, okay? They're going to call Robert Kraft a racist, which is why you should be very, very, very careful before hiring these individuals, because once you hire these individuals, you're kind of stuck with them, right? Unless you're okay with being called a racist. You remember the other black head coach, Eric Bieniemy, that the mainstream liberal media was boohoo, whine, and cry about not getting a head coaching job? The former offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, everybody knew that Patrick Mahomes, the talent of the Chiefs offense, Andy Reid was carrying that team. Okay, everybody knew it was mainly a function of them, not necessarily Eric Bieniemy. But see, the woke sports media kept begging teams to hire Eric Bieniemy because they swore up and down he would be a great head coach. He's a great coach. This dude got fired from the Washington Commanders, okay, early this year. And then he went on to UCLA and got fired after one season from there too. So again, everywhere this guy goes, it seems as if he's not doing a great job without Andy Reid, which is what everybody said when the woke media kept criticizing teams and boohoo, whine, and cry racism over this dude not being hired. People with common sense were saying, well, him being black is not the reason he's not getting hired. The reason why he's not getting hired is because clearly there's something that's showing up in the interviews that is a red flag for NFL teams, okay? That is what people with common sense were saying. And it turns out that we were right. And this is why I try to tell people in all of these videos about these race hustlers, right? That this is a losing mentality. Victimhood is a losing mentality. When you don't get your way in life, the best thing for you to do is to self-evaluate and say, what am I doing wrong? What can I get better at in order to get the job or to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish? But if you wallow in victimhood and say, oh, well, I'm not getting the job because I'm black. They just hate me because I'm black. Instead of evaluating other things that could possibly be the reason why you're not getting the job that you want or you're not achieving the things that you want in life, then it's going to be a lot harder to be successful. It's going to be a lot harder to find success in life when you refuse to self-evaluate, when you blame racism for your failures. A vast majority of the time, it's not because you're black. It's not because of your skin color. It's not because of your sex. Okay, it's not because of your identity. It's because there's something about you that's not good enough. There's something that you need to do that you can improve on to make yourself a better candidate for the job or to put yourself in a better position for success. It's really that simple. So, hey, at the end of the day, this was not a hard prediction to make. People with the DEI mentality, with the victimhood mentality that are worried about racism rather than performance and just being successful and just, putting in the work. People who are worried about all this other stuff, the wokeness, again, they're going to find it a lot harder to be successful at their jobs because they're worried about the wrong things. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.